of the Senate, the Right Honorable Amason Kingi, to make his remarks. Mr. Speaker.
Your Excellency, Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, allow me to adopt the protocols as cited by the speakers who spoke before me and proceed to make my remarks. However, Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to make my remarks in Swahili. Wahenga walinena wakasema kwamba kupanda ngoma si ngoma, ngoma ni kushuka mchongoma. Na pia wahenga wakarudi wakasema kwamba mchamaago hanyeli, huenda akawia papo. Now, Your Excellency, if you're still with me, I'll proceed in Swahili. But clearly from the facial expressions in the entire hall, I've lost all of you. And I wouldn't want to lose you at the beginning of my remarks. So allow me to go back to my written English speech. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. For the 3 days we have been here, we have reminded ourselves of the eventful journey of devolved governance in the last decade, and indeed laid an elaborate strategies on how to take devolution to the next level. Nothing best exemplifies your dedication as champions of devolution than the commitment you have exhibited the entire duration of this conference. The 8th Devolution Conference, as intended, has provided us with an opportunity to commemorate the milestone in our 10-year devolution journey, identify challenges, and seek to formulate appropriate responses as we rekindle our commitment to the devolution cause. Throughout this conference, we have participated in engagements as broadly outlined in 5 thematic areas, but crystallized in the following key objectives. 1, to assess and propose measures that county governments can adopt to enhance transformative service delivery for improved citizens' livelihoods and a stronger business environment. 2, examine the benefits of adopting technology and digitization and the potential impact on economic development and discuss strategies for promoting innovation and digital transformation in the devolved context. 3, to reflect on the trends and challenges that have been experienced in financing the devolved sector and recommend innovative approaches for sustainable and adequate financing for county governments. 4, to evaluate the effectiveness of good governance practices in promoting equitable and sustainable development in the devolved units. And finally, examine strides made in the affirmative action agenda and propose responsive measures that can be adopted to guarantee the place of women, the youth, and the most vulnerable in governance. These constitute the thought-provoking concepts we discussed and interrogated during the plenary and breakaway sessions, culminating in practical steps that we need to take with clear timelines and mechanisms for evaluation and impact assessment. Your Excellency, as we reminisce on the long journey we have traveled to this point, I was reminded of the first cohort of senators, governors, and members of county assemblies and the difficult moments they went through as they pushed to synchronize devolution with our national development priorities. This group, of which I happen to have been part in my capacity as governor, is credited with having laid a firm foundation for devolution under very difficult circumstances. I recall assuming my responsibilities as the first governor of Kilifi County without any physical office. I had to make use of what was previously my campaign secretariat on the outskirts of Kilifi town. The same scenario was witnessed in a number of counties across the country. But today, our counties boast of good office space for governors and staff and state-of-the-art assembly premises, enabling them to serve Kenyans better. The pioneer senators, too, were not left out. They had to contend with the less than ideal Shimba Hall at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, in Nairobi, later moving to the County Hall, and finally to the current high-tech chamber at the main parliament buildings. Indeed, it has been a journey of 10 years. These humble beginnings did not dampen their spirits. In fact, it sharpened their resolve in discharging their constitutional mandate of representation, legislation, and oversight. This determination saw them secure critical footholds in favor of devolution. Back then, there was many insinuations that the Senate was a house for old men. We now know better. The Senate is, in fact, an august assembly of wise men and women, age notwithstanding. Today, we have a very vibrant, youthful Senate, oozing with wisdom and a great, tremendous appetite to protect devolution. To borrow the words of Chinua Achebe, these leaders have lived up to the true definition of the youth who have accepted to wash their hands and therefore won the right to dine on the king's table. Your Excellency, allow you to just mention but a few. Seated very next to you, we have the miracle Senator, Senator Karungo, youthful senator, Senator Methu, Senator Hezena, Senator Eddie Okech, Senator Chimera, just to mention but a few. These are young men and women who have fought and now occupy their rightful seats in the Senate. As we celebrate the gains and milestone in devolution, I invite you, distinguished delegates, to give these pioneer senators, governors, and members of County Assembly a hearty round of applause for having helped. Thank you for having helped chart a great cause of devolution in the face of adversity against numerous odds. Distinguished delegates and gentlemen, allow me at this juncture to briefly revisit the critical matter of the financial autonomy of county assemblies. In my speech at the opening ceremony, I alluded to the fact that county governments comprising the executive and county assemblies play a critical role to the success of devolution. Through their legislative mandates, county assemblies in particular have ensured counties had the necessary laws and policies on which service provision, project implementation, and grassroots development have been anchored since devolution got underway. The call for financial autonomy for our county assemblies is therefore fully merited and timely for the key reason that it will enhance their independence and elevate their role as oversight institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, a landmark bill, County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill 2023, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the Senate and Meru Senator, the Honorable Kathuri Murungi, and which seeks to grant financial autonomy to county assemblies, is pending in our legislative pipeline. Among other radical measures, this proposed legislation seeks to cure the mischief that for years has left county assemblies ensnared by whims of county treasuries as they seek money to defray their administrative expenses. When this bill becomes law, county assemblies will not have to go through county executive committees to do their requisition as is presently the case. I want to assure you that the Senate, as the overseer of devolution as per Article 96 of the Constitution, will expedite this legislation, which once enacted will help county assemblies break free from this shackle that grossly undermines their mandate, especially the mandate relating to oversight of county governments. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude my remarks by commending the President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, for the bold directive he gave when he officially opened this conference on Wednesday, that all the remaining functions that have been earmarked to be devolved under Schedule 4 of the Constitution be released to the counties within 60 days. This statement, alongside the prompt release of county disbursements that he ordered 2 months ago, do confirm that in President Ruto, devolution is indeed in safe hands. As the Senate, we remain steadfast in discharging our constitutional mandate and provide an ideal environment for rollout of these functions at the county government's level. Ladies and gentlemen, let's leave Uasin Gishu more passionate, more energized, more focused, with a single purpose to take devolution to greater heights. As we leave this place, let's engage a higher gear so that we can accelerate the progress and gains of devolution. With those few remarks, I wish to thank you for taking time to attend this conference and wish each one of you safe travel back to your destinations. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker.